addition to the development of metrics, subnational governments and other actors now increasingly have tools and institutional frameworks available to support them in implementing actions towards such science-based targets.
First, looking at what is the biodiversity, what is the status of biodiversity on the ground, what are they dealing with? So the decisions that are made locally in terms of where to build, how to build, and how to build with nature, in harmony with nature, are critical. In order to do that, you first have to understand what your nature is. And getting your council approval of your local biodiversity strategy and action plan, or the LBSAPs, as they came to be known, is vital, because to take your politicians alongside with the process ensures that you will get the political buy-in you need as technical teams, but it also ensures that mayors are sensitized to the issues and become global spokespersons for these very important issues around nature in cities. And that again leads to finance, which is number 5 and probably should be number 1 to 5, because without finance we cannot move forward, turning these actions and commitments into tangible projects and benefits.
So a lot of you would have known that we've done a systematic conservation plan based on good science. So we work together with our planners, and Atlantis is an area where they want to increase development. So you have incentive schemes. So as part of the incentive scheme is the biodiversity problem, as you say, is taken away, and we are given money to actually buy land.
One of the first things that we did in our project was to develop what we call our urban nature atlas. And from this, we can see across 100 cities in Europe that there are lots of different actions being taken where cities are now working with nature. In a sense, it's much more common on the ground than we might think of from the number of cities who've made a public commitment to this. So we can see all sorts of different kinds of actions taking place. The example of thinking about how do you reduce the temperatures in schools, in urban areas, a challenge that is increasingly affecting southern parts of Europe and indeed elsewhere, where children are missing education because of buildings being too hot. But no one business model, not just focusing on the energy efficiency benefits that green roofs could give, or the risk reduction of extreme heat events, or about a healthier school environment and nature-based education. No one of these models by themselves would generate enough economic and social return on investment to make the business case. But instead, you need to think about bringing them together.
Cities must and can act to reduce their ecological footprints at all levels of their territory. Since 2020, the Eau de Paris Water Authority has implemented a payment for environmental services. This mechanism will help all the farmers who work in the water catchment areas from which the drinking water of the Paris agglomeration comes by paying them to manage their land ecologically. Today, about 50 farmers representing 25,000 hectares are paid to manage these large areas ecologically. Our objective, and this is a first in France, is to manage ecologically and as efficiently as possible the 145,000 hectares located upstream of the Paris conurbation, to manage them so that the water that supplies drinking water, but also all the watersheds of our rivers, especially the Seine, are as clean as possible and, of course, favourable to biodiversity.
We need to share feedback and identify best practices. It may sound, easy to say, but not so easy to do in practice, finally. So really, we need to focus on this aspect.
I'm proud to present it on behalf of the partners. This is not an ICLEI initiative, but it's ICLEI, IUCN, the Nature Conservancy, WWF, so many others, the Global Youth Biodiversity Network, so many others have come together to create a shared global platform, accessible and open to cities large and small around the world, where they can connect, learn, share, and inspire each other, but also share with each other how they act, what their policies look like, where their achievements are, how they've managed to do certain things under trying conditions. And it's amazing how the over 200 cities that are already part of this journey have come a long way to actually taking hands and inspiring each other.